So I'm just gonna try this. I'm gonna throw this out there. And I'm gonna put up a video today. Um, uh, my name is Peden. If you're watching this, you'll know because that is the name of the channel, Peden249. Peden is my nickname. My real name is something else. Very easy to find out. 249 is my race number, or was my race number. I don't really do an awful lot of competing anymore, but I do a lot of things in motorsport still. And look, I thought I'd share some of this stuff. So if you do like this, please, drop a like. I'd love to see a comment or two. Um, I'm mostly active on Instagram. I'm a visual person, visual and kinesthetic, if you ever have looked into these things, but mostly visual. So I love pictures. And above all else, I have a couple of loves in this world. One of them is cars. Bit of an addiction more so than love, because I hate some of them a lot of the time, actually. So I thought that I'm going to go on a journey and document some of the stuff that I do and see if there's any interest out there in watching some of these things. So I am in my morning routine. It's quite early in the morning. I get up very early most mornings. I have a lot of projects ongoing with cars, and obviously to have a lot of projects in cars, you have to have a way of funding these things. So I have an intense, I'd actually call it more than full-time job. So maybe we'll get to that. If there's interest in that, let me know. I'll happily talk about what it is that I do for a living. But I do a lot of stuff in the automotive world. I used to do a lot of videos back in the day, probably before YouTube really was what it is now. Mostly always quirky videos. I used to do videos whenever I was competing, even when I had a break from competing, when I did some judging within the drifting world. I predominantly do drifting, but I also do some go-karting, not at any kind of racing level because I'm a rather large unit. So I am going to quickly show you some of the cars here in the garage. I'll talk about some of the cars as well because there are a lot of projects coming up. And some of these projects are actually about to either have just kind of gotten to a stage one finish. And now is a good time to talk about it, I think. So now is as good a time as any. So very early in the morning, here's my morning routine, which is eggs. I've also trying to get into just improving my lifestyle and a little bit because I travel a lot with my job. So, and with racing and cars as well. So eating is an important thing to me, and I also do, back to those things that I love, eating is one of them. Let me show you real quickly what's in the garage here. There's a lot more cars outside on the drive. I also have some cars back in Ireland. I currently live in the UK, where I've been for about 4 years almost. And then I have a storage place that I share in Birmingham, where I have a couple of cars. And then I have 3 other cars scattered around the UK. One in a place that shouldn't be parked because I moved out of there a couple of months ago and it's still there, but I need to get it moved. And there's a small job that has to be done on that. There's a full restoration on a really special car to me. And then there's one car that is hopefully going to finish this week, actually, which we'll take a look at, which is a mild restoration. It's about to get a full respray. This week it's prepped and ready for a full respray this week. And then one car that's right here, which has just kind of finished at stage one. And we'll talk a little bit about what happens with that car next. Because something really, really exciting is going to happen on Monday. Today is Tuesday. So next Monday, it's going to go for a vehicle test, an MOT test, because it's going to be a road legal car. It's already insured and it just needs a test and then I can tax it. So hopefully it passes its test. Otherwise, I'd be pretty disappointed. So let's look at the garage. So this is the car that I am referring to, and this is my Spec R S15. We will go through more detail on this, but I absolutely love this thing. And then covered underneath a load of crap because this car becomes relevant when you look at this car. This is my comp spec 180SX, and if you remove, and we'll talk more about that car as well, but if you remove the livery and you update it to an S15, you basically have this. This is everything that the competition car is, only this is going to be on the road. So it has functioning lights, indicators. It even has windscreen washers underneath a carbon bonnet. So that is going on a very exciting journey very, very soon. So that's basically the ending of this particular first video. Each video will go through the different stages of the different cars, and we're going to probably start with the... Oh, that's a good question, actually. If next Monday is the MOT test, I'd love to try and document the first drive because I'm quite nervous about it. I'm expecting SWAT and FBI to jump out on the road as soon as I drive what basically is a race car on the road. But we might also be collecting this weekend, or hopefully even during this week, another project car. Well, hopefully soon no longer a project car, but just a running driving car. It's a bit different for me, but it's cool nonetheless, and I'm really quite excited about it. So let's leave it there. And what I'll do is, let me list out the vehicles that are currently in my possession that we will be discovering and talking more about this year. Some of them aren't as special probably to you guys, but they're all very special to me. So some will get more detailed descriptions and walkarounds, and some of them are just kind of daily drivers with wheels on. Yeah, look, let's start listing them out. If we start with the non-Japanese cars, because there's only a couple, I have as a tow vehicle a Volkswagen Caddy. And if I can figure it out, you will be seeing a picture of it up on the screen. Actually, if I move over here, there you go, you should be able to see a picture up there. And then I have a 80s Ford Econoline from Daewoo. Econoline 2, I think it is actually, or 3, I'm not sure. It's an American vehicle. It is right there. It's a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8. Doesn't go very quick, doesn't stop very quick, but it has a fold-out bed in the back, which is pretty damn cool. Then the last of the non-Japanese, am I right in saying that? Yes, is what I'm hopefully collecting this week, or at latest this weekend, which is a Range Rover, a classic Range Rover, 1993 Vogue Westminster. Is it? I think it's a 3.8 liter V8 petrol, in really good condition. It was in good condition before as well, but it's now hopefully in a lot better condition. And I was toying around with what I would do with it, but I'll get into that later on, because that's probably a video in itself. Then onto the Japanese cars. You've seen two of them. So S13, which is right here, or the 180SX, I should say, competition car. The S15, what I call the English S15. I then also have what I call the Irish S15, which is Spec S currently, with a Rocket Bunny V2 kit on. I've had that car for many years. I haven't actually driven that car for over 5 years, would you believe? Actually, it's probably closer to 6. Then I have a Z32 300ZX, which is a rare model. It's manual, factory manual, short wheelbase, non-Targa, non-turbo though, unfortunately, so it's NA. But it's that's a really cool car, great condition. I put some work wheels on. I do like work wheels. So there's work wheels on those, 2-piece 19-inch CR Kais. Then we've got IS200. Kind of quirky, but I quite like it. It's a lot of fun, and you can just be a bit of a hooligan in it. And it kind of brings me back to being a teenager again. I used to have an Altezza many, many years ago. Then we've got in the Lexus world, I have a hybrid GS300H, which probably won't get that much airtime. It's actually for sale right now. I don't normally sell anything, but this one is for sale at the moment. So it has some Tanabe lowering springs. It has some discontinued split rim work wheels, 19-inch, and a couple of other bits and bobs, body kits and dechrome and some tinted windows. It's a bit of a pimper, but it's a great daily driver. I've used it for, I think I've had it now for just over 5 years. And I put many miles on it, and it drives fantastic. Nothing goes wrong with it. And well, actually, maybe we might get into something because there is a recall on that actually at the moment. Speaking of recalls, there's a recall on the next car as well, because it has the same part that needs a recall from Lexus, which is a 2016 Lexus GSF. So this is a naturally aspirated 5-liter V8. Producing just under 500 horsepower and the same in torque, and it is hilarious. It was the vehicle that I bought to drive to meetings because I thought the black GS was a little bit too modified to drive to meetings, so I said I wouldn't modify this one at all. So I've already changed the suspension. I put custom coilovers on from Tanabe as well, imported from Japan via Driftworks. And the wheels that are on it, I think, are quite cool. They're forged BBS wheels. And then I think we've some motorsport grade spacers on. We've got some front anti-roll bar adjustment, and we've got rear camber arms as well, which is quite interesting. I've got a body kit on that one as well, and it needs a dechrome as well. So but yeah, that's the Lexus. And then what have we got left? I think we're at 10 now. So the last one then is a 1997 R33 GTR. And that car is, actually I'll put a picture up of that car of what it looks like right now. It is in complete restoration mode. A lot of these cars suffer with rust, especially around the turrets, and this is no exception, unfortunately. Also some rust around the sills and some underneath the back. So that's all been done, and that's actually a vehicle that we'll go and visit quite soon, because we're aiming for the end of March, but it's probably going to take a little bit longer. I've never even driven that car. So that's gone straight, I've started it, I've never driven it, it's gone straight in for full restoration. So I'll stop there. This is just let's just try and do something with videos. I love watching videos, I love creating videos, and this year is going to be a lot of fun. There's some really cool stuff that's about to happen, and I want to share it. So whether you watch it or not, if you get to this point, you have watched it, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, check out my Instagram. Which is where I post most stuff on a daily basis or a weekly basis. But thank you for watching, and next video will be hopefully it'll either be collecting a new vehicle, well, one of the vehicles, or it'll be driving the car for an MOT and what the outcome is. Thank you for watching.